guys, it's Tori here, and today I'm going to be doing a track-by-track review of Sleeping With Sirens' new album, Feel. And I gotta tell you guys, I am so excited to be doing this review today because I've waited quite a long time to hear this album, as I'm sure you have as well. So when I finally got the copy, there was a lot of anticipation built up, and it was certainly worth the wait because this is a huge step up for the band. They have grown so much, but without losing their identity, which I appreciate. And if you listen one song at a time, each one has its own unique style, which really shows off their versatility. And Kellen's voice has gotten so much stronger. Who knew he could be a better vocalist than he already was? But he proved himself on this album. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but on their previous releases, there weren't any huge collaborations. So on this album, they went all out with 4 amazing collaborations. So with that being said, I'm going to take you through one song at a time and let you know how I feel about them. So let's get started. Now the first song on the album is called Feel. So it is the title track of the album, and I don't know why I always do this, but I seem to add a little extra pressure on the title track, so it better be good, and it certainly was. It is a bit of a mid-tempo song, so it isn't exactly a standout on the album to me, but what I love so much about it is the message, because it's talking about being yourself and being proud of who you are without being apologetic for it, and that is something I live by, so right there, that's a song that I can really relate to. Moving on with the track list, the next song is called Here We Go, and to me, this song is pure Sleeping With Sirens because it has those awesome pop elements with some heavy touches mixed throughout it, so it is perfectly balanced. And to me, when I think of Sleeping With Sirens, this is the kind of style that I associate them with, and they really delivered on this one. Awesome song. Track number 3 on the album is called Free Now, and this is a more mellow song on the album, but what I love so much about it are the lyrics. They are absolutely beautiful, and you can tell this is a more personal song for Kellen because it's almost like a continuation of A Trophy Father's Trophy Son in a way, because he's still talking about his family situation, but he turns the tables by bringing up his daughter and saying how he wants to learn from his past experiences to raise her right and hopefully one person at a time make the world just a happier and better place. And I have so much respect and admiration for Sleeping With Sirens for releasing a song like this because first of all, it takes a lot of guts to talk about a personal situation like that in a song, but also it's a topic that a lot of other people out there can relate to. And this song goes to show that just by listening to the lyrics, you can learn so much about a band. This one is one of my favorites, if not my #1 favorite on this album, just because of the lyrics. So next time we listen to Free Now, pay close attention to the lyrics. It's amazing. Next up is Alone featuring MGK, and I gotta say that this one is a total standout on the album for me, and it is so catchy that I literally woke up this morning with it stuck in my head, and it is still stuck in my head right now, and I'm pretty sure it's like, what is it? It is 2 o'clock. And it is such an interesting choice to have MGK as a collaboration on this album because I never expected it. I mean, who knew that you could have a rapper on a rock song and make it work as good as they did? I'm not that big of a fan of rap music, but somehow they made it work. MGK's part flowed perfectly with the rest of the song, and I can totally jam to this. And you know what's really funny about this MGK collaboration is that if you watch my second interview with Sleeping With Sirens, Kellen is actually wearing an MGK shirt. So kinda, sorta, technically, we had an exclusive and we knew that Sleeping With Sirens was gonna collaborate with MGK before anybody else did. So way to go Rock Forever Magazine for that exclusive there. And definitely Alone is a standout on this album, one of my favorites. Track number 5 is called I'll Take You There, and I know what you're thinking right now. Oh, Tori likes every song on this album. What kind of review is this? And yes, that is sort of true. I do like every single song on this album, but this one is another standout. But this one's interesting because I feel like it would kind of fit on the track list for With Ears to See and Eyes to Hear, just in case they wanted to rearrange their albums, which I don't think they do. But the only critique I have on this song is that I wish Shayley's part would have been a little bit longer, a little bit more prominent, because his voice kind of sounds drowned out, and I mean, having such an amazing collaboration like that, I wish he would have had a bigger part. But I love this song. Kellen's voice is so expressive, and another catchy song. Amazing. What can I say? Next is The Best There Ever Was featuring Fronz from Attila. And ever since I saw Attila live, I've been such a sucker for Fronz's rap, screaming style, if that's what you want to call it. I think no matter what he does, if he's in the song, it's going to be super cool and unique and just over the top awesome. So as soon as I found out that Attila and Sleeping With Sirens were coming together for a song, I was like, this is gonna be good. So as far as collaborations go, this one is my favorite. Yeah, MGK is great, Matty did great, and so did Shayley, but there's something about Fronz that is just so cool, and there are very few people out there like him, so I think they worked really great together, and I can see this being a fan favorite because this is probably the heaviest song on the album, and from what I've noticed, Sleeping with Sirens fan base tends to lean on that side. My only thing is that I wish Franz's part would have been longer, or just would have been more spread out throughout the song, because personally, that's my favorite part, but I absolutely love this song, and I think the combination of the two of them was a hit. Track number 7 is called Low, and this is by far the absolute catchiest pop song the Sleeping with Sirens have ever released. I'm telling you right now, you've been warned that if you listen to this, it will be stuck in your head for at least a week, and when it happens, I get to say I told you so. But this was the first song that Sleeping with Sirens released for this album, and it was such a good representation of their new style, and also a good first impression of the album, that's for sure. I can easily see this being on the radio, and it's also one that is a huge hit among Sleeping with Sirens fans. As I said in the beginning of the review, it really shows off their versatility as a band. It's definitely a danceable pop song and one that's really fun to listen to. Next up is Congratulations featuring Matty Mullins. And just a quick backstory here, in case you guys didn't know, this is not the first time that Kellen and Matty worked together. They actually did a collaboration on Memphis Mayfire's album called Challenger, and the song was called Miles Away. And that one was more of a slow song, and I absolutely love it. So as soon as I heard that they were doing an upbeat song together, I was very excited to hear it. And I'm a big fan of Matty's vocals, but I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't get to hear more of him in this song. I think that's been a reoccurring theme with their collaborations on this album, is that you don't get to hear much of the guest vocalist, but I suppose they did that on purpose so you don't lose focus of Sleeping with Sirens. My only other thing with this song is that the lyrics are slightly obnoxious, but I have a feeling they did that on purpose, so it's totally cool. And the song is so repetitive that I'm never gonna forget the title. It's called Congratulations. Okay, there we go. Next up is a song called Deja Vu, and this one is not very meaningful lyrically, but I'm totally okay with that because we all have to have a good time too after some of those heavier, more meaningful, emotional songs. This one is more just about a love interest, and I guess as far as that goes, maybe they could have toned it down like a notch or two, but I do think this is just a really fun, light rock song that's awesome when you want to have a good time, and it's upbeat from start to finish, and that is always a good thing in my book. Next is These Things I've Done, and I remember hearing an older version of this song when it leaked quite a few months ago. Actually, I think it was almost a year ago now. So I was very excited to hear the more updated version on this album, and it is definitely better than the one that leaked a while back, as expected. But what's so good is the chorus of this song, because by the time I listened to it the first time through, I was already able to sing back the chorus, which is always a good thing, and I think that is kind of the end goal of most bands. If you could sing along to that chorus after listening to it once, that means they've done a good job, so they certainly did. Track number 11 is called Sorry, and this is definitely the slowest song on the album, and I feel like for most bands, that is where they're at their lowest point, because you either want to fall asleep or just skip the track altogether because it's boring, but for Sleeping with Sirens, it is a total opposite. The slow songs are when they're at their best, because that is when Kellen's voice shines, and it is so sincere and just beautiful, really. And I actually wish there were more acoustic songs or more ballads on this album, because I think that is when they're at their best. I'm thinking back to the acoustic EP, which is probably one of my favorite releases they've ever put out. So this is a beautiful song, and I absolutely love when Sleeping with Sirens slows it down because it's always awesome. And now we're on to the last track on the album, number 12, and it's called Satellites. This is a more mid-tempo song and also not quite a standout to me, but I do like the lyrics, and I do think the chorus is really good, and I really appreciate that they ended this album on a positive note. Not quite a standout, and it probably won't be a song that I go straight to when I want to listen to some Sleeping with Sirens, but it is another good track, and I don't think there's a single one on this album that disappointed. I feel like I went through this album once, loved everything, couldn't find a single complaint, so I went back and started nitpicking at the details, and I still couldn't find a single flaw. I feel like some people might not be too thrilled that the album doesn't focus on one particular direction, but I think that is what I love so much about it. There's variety and there's something for everybody, and I really think Sleeping with Sirens did great work here. Definitely a step up from Let's Cheers to This or With Ears to See and Eyes to Hear. So make sure you pick up a copy of Feel by Sleeping with Sirens on iTunes June 4th, or I'm sure you can find it in stores. And thank you so much for watching this review. Please comment and let me know what you think of this album. Subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys!